All right, hello, hello. Let me get my stuff here and fix my eyebrows. Okay. All right, so what do we have going on today? Today's the 27th. I'll look here. All right, Mercury today forms a trine with Pluto, boosting our ability to concentrate and strategize today. Mercury is still retrograde and will turn direct on October 2nd. With both Mercury and Pluto relatively near their stations, this aspect can feel as if it's hanging with us for many days. And it's a powerful time to look both behind and in front of us as we gain a deeper understanding of matter. We might discover new information that gives us an edge or finally see the truth of a matter we've been avoiding. For now, it's best to wait and see, and it's a good time to let go of something that has kept us bound to negative elements of the past. As the day advances, Mars-Saturn trine, exact early tomorrow, comes into play, and it favors discipline, moderation, tradition, and realism. This transit stimulates productivity. Hi, Annie. This transit stimulates productivity, attention to traditional or tried and true methods, pacing ourselves, and temperance. We feel more directed and purposeful and tend to be thorough in our efforts. The void moon occurs at 12:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the moon's last aspect before changing signs, a square to Pluto, until the moon enters Scorpio at 7:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's have a look at our Schumann's here. One sec. All right, I shall share my screen. All right, so as we can see with our Schumann, nothing too spectacular here going on yet. I will keep you guys posted every single day. We have just gone through a little bit of red, nothing enough to really report in my opinion. My ears have been ringing, but it doesn't feel like Schumann. It feels like up-leveling on my behalf. Solar flares, let's have a look at our information here. We have, every time we have significant disturbances in the solar wind, such as we do now, we ask if there is a CME stealthily embedded. I am not optimistic this time, but some people may find something in this 2-day movie. All right, so I don't think that we have any CME, but there is the video of the solar report. I'm stuttery today. I did about 1,000 people today, so. All right, so yesterday we were informed that we'd be getting some aurora, which usually coincides with the solar CME. So a little bit of conflicting there, but I haven't seen anything posted as of late of any huge solar flares. So how are you doing, Annie? And just let me get up my power. Whoa, where are you going? You're doing good. That's awesome. That makes me happy inside. Play from the beginning. All right, so today's inspired messages messages. The message is on self-image, what you believe you can achieve. So this one's a big one. And I remember about 5 years ago, feeling really stuck and not knowing how to gain self-confidence and increase my self-image of myself. So we're going to go over this. The results you are achieving are a direct reflection of the image of yourself you are holding. Improve the image and the improvement will automatically be reflected in your results. This is from Sandy Gallagher. Totally true. The good you find in others is a reflection of the good that is inside of you. So be careful if you are judging people. It is not going to get you where you want to go. We can alter our lives by altering our attitudes of mind. Through a slight shift in your own personal self-image, you can take all the genius and talent you have developed for one profession and apply it to another. Having confidence will free you to go where your heart leads you, to do what you were designed to do. Confidence gives you the strength with style. It generates an aura that captures the conscious attention of everyone around you. Confidence is a magnet because deep down, we all desire to connect with our soul in this way. Your self-image is like a mirror image being projected onto the reality all around you. If you feel negatively about yourself, then the circumstances will reflect that. So extremely important. And this doesn't mean that you can't manifest if you have self-worth problems. Self-worth and confidence is always a work in progress. But what I want is to help develop the knowledge of why it's important, why we want to be doing this. It is not what you are that's holding you back. It's what you think you are not. That is what is holding you back. That is what's keeping you from getting to where you desire, no matter what that is. When you are confident in yourself, you just know. You possess an awareness of a powerful truth. You know that when you are in tune with the unseen power that is in every molecule of your being, you will always solve whatever comes your way. If you doubt yourself, if you doubt your ability, if you feel you are not able to do the job or solve your problems, you will always emit an energy to others that you don't fully believe that you are what you are putting forth, and therefore they won't trust it, no matter what that is. As we talk about a lot in this group, everything is energy. And a negative self-image is a powerful emission that repels anything and everything we are working hard to attract. So how can we change this? How do we gain more self-confidence in our image? What is confidence? First of all, we can start there. Confidence is knowing. It is an inner certainty and absolutely nothing can change it. It wouldn't matter what happened, what anyone said or did. When you have confidence, what you know, that inner knowing, cannot be changed. The dictionary defines confidence as a feeling or consciousness of one's powers or of reliance on one's circumstances. Contrary to popular belief, your confidence has very little, if anything, to do with your intellect. It has, however, everything to do with your faith. The more knowledge and understanding you have about yourself, the greater your confidence will be. Pure self-confidence is what it permits you to move ahead in life. Self-confidence gives you license to have a positive attitude about your ability to become confident and in an area you may not understand yet. Take inventory of yourself. Check your self-image. This is a critical part to manifestation. What image comes to mind when you do a fearless and honest inventory of your self-image? Confidence is purely an inside thing. No one else can help you gain it unless you make the decision to start learning about yourself. You can train yourself through the art of persistence, imagination, and willpower to hold an image of yourself that you do want to see, and it will become. So I'll say that again. You can train yourself through the art of persistence, imagination, and willpower to hold an image of yourself that you do want to see, and it will become. We already are. We want what we want to become. It is already inside. We just have to wake up to how all powerful we really are. It's about waking up. It's not about creating this inside of ourselves. It's about becoming more aware. It's becoming more connected to our soul, into our divine nature, unlocking our infinite potential, unlocking our knowledge that we are infinitely potential. And we can do whatever it is that we want, and not knowledge up here in our mind, like, oh, I just know. We're talking about like a deep consciousness. You tap into it. It's like a resource from your soul. Check your strengths and weaknesses. You might want to write a list of each. Genuinely sit down and be honest with yourself. This gives you the knowledge needed to do something to heal some of those weaknesses. And weakness is such a negative term, but we really want to start looking into ourselves. You know, a lot of the time, we're not looking inside ourselves. We're not asking the questions that need to be asked. We're not looking in the areas that really need to be discovered. We're kind of going through our cycles, and we're looking at our circumstances and being frustrated because we're not where we want to be, but we're not looking at, hey, maybe there's some stuff that I'm doing that needs to be altered. Maybe there's some stuff that I'm doing that needs to be healed. So now, instead of pouring all of your energy and efforts into fixing yourself, how about instead you pour yourself into the strengths you have and develop them? Become the expert at these strengths and watch your self-image grow as you know you have become skilled at these. This is what's truly going to bring self-confidence. Ask yourself, any time that you've started to gain experience with something, be it your psychic gifts, be it in reading, in any kind of specific subject, or any kind of skill, you started to feel more confident about yourself. And this is the same with any of your psychic gifts, the same with any of your what your soul came here to do. The more you start tuning into that and honing it and gaining experience, that's where that confidence is going to come from. Becoming the expert at these strengths and watch your self-image grow as you know you have become skilled at these. Ask yourself what your values are. Go look at a list and truly find 10, and then reflect if you see them inside yourself. If you don't, it's time to align with your values. So if you don't know how to answer, a handful of values, what are your values in life? Like, what do you live by? If you don't know how to answer those, you want to start discovering this stuff inside of yourself. This is what manifestation is. It grows you, it changes you. You have to, you can't be down here where you have always been and then try to go up here and think that there's not going to be a change in yourself. The version of you up here is the one that has all the things that you are desiring and trying to manifest. But your consciousness has to change and grow to up here. It's inside of you. You already are that person, but there needs to be a alter in your consciousness. And you do this by knowledge. You do this by discovering yourself, by going inside. Open your gifts. Self-confidence is a journey, not a destination. Guaranteed, you have many gifts you've never opened. These are gifts of talent, ability, and reach that are all yours uniquely. These are specifically for you. They're your divine nature. They have your divine essence in it. And these are what needs to be unlocked inside of yourself. The people we call gifted are only different because they learn to tap into their potential. Think of the caterpillar humbly crawling along the stem of a milkweed plant, changing into the strikingly beautiful monarch butterfly that soars high in the air and bravely journeys thousands of miles in its yearly pilgrimage. To become a monarch, to free those beautiful, to free those beautiful auburn wings, to fly free, the creature must break out of the cocoon of safety and open its gifts. This applies to us as well. Self-confidence comes to those brave enough to venture out into the unknown and discover themselves. If you stay inside, always scared to venture out and provide knowledge in what your gifts are and who you are, you will always be struggling inside that cocoon. Self-confidence is a superpower. Once you start believing in yourself, magic starts happening. Each of us are magical beings who possess this infinite potential. It is my job as a coach and mentor to help you out of that cocoon and wake you up to this. The deeper we know ourselves and work on ourselves, the deeper our knowledge of ourselves. Knowledge builds confidence, so go out with enthusiasm to discover yourself on a deeper level. If I asked you, what are 5 core values you base your life on, could you answer me? If I asked you, what are your 5 driving factors in this life, would you know? What if I asked you what your attachment style was, would you know? The secret to discovering your soul's purpose has always been in self-discovery. What are your gifts? Follow that, because that will lead you to your assignment of this life. And driving factors are traits that literally subconsciously drive us. So we want to tap into that, and we want to understand, the deeper nature of ourselves, because each of these things are core values, are driving factors. If we have any attachment style wounds, we want to get healing this stuff, because this is what's going to set us free. It's going to, when we know what drives us, when we know what our values are, we kind of know what our soul makeup is, and it kind of points us towards, and we will unlock our gifts in a much deeper way when we can align with this part of ourselves. Because sometimes, we have honesty is a value in our life. It's important for people in our life to be honest, and sometimes we're not being honest, and not necessarily to other people, but to ourselves. So if we're not being honest to ourselves, we're living out of alignment with our own core values, and that emits a dissonance in our energy. So there's like a wobble in our cycle of our energy, and it throws us off a little bit. So we want to know what our core values are. We really want to know who we are. Courage plus self-esteem equals self-confidence. Immerse yourself in believing in yourself. Feed that thought to yourself until it is a fact. You might have to do this a lot in the beginning. Believing in yourself. You have to believe that this is possible. Manifestation. You have to believe that you have infinite potential. If there's a little voice inside of you, ask yourself, if you believe that you have infinite potential, if you get that little feeling in your intuition that there's a no, or that little voice inside of your head, that's that little negative person on your shoulder, if they answer no to that, then you want to be realigning to that. You want to be feeding constantly throughout the day the belief that you believe in yourself, that you can create anything in your life, because that's where you want to start. If you have a block there, if you do not believe that, then any kind of other effort that you put on this journey towards manifestation is going to get blocked by that one single thing. So there's lots of different things to manifestation. I wish I knew this when I was beginning, and it doesn't mean that people weren't feeding me the knowledge to it, but I didn't wake up until, you know, a couple years ago to this part of myself. I knew what manifestation was. I knew the different parts of it, but my deep conscious knowledge of it didn't happen until a few years ago. It took me that long to, you know, feed myself this stuff, gratitude and all the different steps, and keep going and keep resilient, keep persistent towards knowing that there was something bigger that I was meant to do. If you aren't sure your mind has the ability to accept anything you feed it with regularity. Be sure it is that you believe in yourself and your abilities. If you aren't sure what those are, then begin there. The rest will just flow for you. You are not just this body. You are a soul that has been here many lives, and each time accepts the design of this life because of the beautiful soul purpose. Your soul knows the bigger picture of what you are here to do and why. This life is all about letting your heart lead you in the dark towards the light. The closer you get, the more confident you will get. And this is what's going to help you. You have to have self-confidence before you create that success, not after. For when you come from that space, you light the way for others. When you come from connected into yourself, you emit this energy that makes other people want to connect to their soul. It is like a beacon for other people, telling them to wake up. So go boldly. I'm here to wake you up, but with enthusiasm to find out who you are and why you are here. Discover yourself on a deep level, your gifts, your weakness, your passions, your virtues. Self-confidence is about valuing yourself and feeling worthy, regardless of any imperfections or what others may believe about you. So it's not about becoming perfect. I want to separate out the belief that perfectionism is going to get you to your manifestations. It's actually going to block you. Perfectionism is a way to avoid vulnerability. And what we want to do is become brave at leaning into vulnerability, because vulnerability is honest truth. And perfectionism is like a shield, saying that if I'm perfect enough, if I put on this armor showing that I don't ever make any mistakes, that it's not true. It is something that I've definitely used in my life, and it isn't my true essence. It isn't my true essence. You know, I bump around in the dark sometimes. And when I can lean into the braveness and the courage into that vulnerability, that's when I get really honest about valuing myself. And that's when I really kind of unlock things. Conquer yourself and the whole universe is yours. It has and always will be an inside job, not to fix yourself. I don't want you to go out with this perception that you're broken and you need fixing, because that is, forgive me, bullshit. That is not the message that I'm portraying today. You don't need fixing. It's you not to fix yourself, but to awaken to who you truly are and heal anything that is getting in the way. You will know once you start awakening yourself to your true nature and your soul purpose. Let go of the belief that you need fixing. It isn't serving you. When we constantly get stuck in these cycles of healing, we're keeping ourselves where we are. We want to believe that we don't need fixing, because we're going to create more situations to fix. It's just simply tweaks and continuing to strengthen ourselves. Like, you know, little kids don't know things, and that doesn't mean that they're broken. It just means that they need to continue to feed their mind knowledge, and on a deeper level, you know, start understanding it and growing. That's what it is. It's understanding your soul. It's not, we're not broken. We possess this knowledge and we have all along. All it is just waking up. That's all it is. So your self-confidence is a huge, massive key to your manifestations. And the deeper you can get into yourself and the deeper that you understand all of the different facets of your personality, your mind, your makeup, your soul purpose, your gifts, this is all part of the equation of manifestation. And getting aligned with your soul purpose instead of pushing in a direction that your rational mind thinks you need to be going, the more you unlock your infinite potential. So tomorrow we have remember how powerful your soul can be. This one's going to be a really good one. This one's, you know, we're starting to end September here. We've only got a few more of these inspired messages, and then I will continue them, but maybe not every single day. But I wanted to take you guys on a manifestation journey and really give you guys all the keys so you guys can go back and watch these videos. And I highly recommend that you do, because each time you hear the message, you're gonna unlock a different consciousness for your subconscious mind. So tomorrow is remember how powerful your soul can be. If you've been feeling stuck, if you've been feeling stagnant, if you've been just lacking, you know, inspiration, this is going to be a video that you want to tap into for sure. And then the next day is remember who your soul wants to be. So we're starting to tap into that part of ourselves now in this journey. We've started with, you know, desire, faith, auto-suggestion. We started to give you the tools of what it is that you need to do for manifestation. And we've taken you on this journey along to even what is a paradigm, you know, your subconscious mind, all of these different inner workings that all have to do with, you know, shifting yourself and your consciousness towards manifestation. You know, I had this perception that manifestation was, you know, think happy thoughts and then that's it, and it's going to be sparkly and magical. And I don't want to sound negative at all, but I don't want to give you guys the wrong perception. It takes persistence, and it takes discipline, and it takes strong intentions towards what you're doing. And this is why not everybody does this, because they peter out before they're about to make that big shift. So I'm here to wake you guys up. I'm here to give you guys the knowledge that, you know, there's probably been many times you were almost there and you broke through to a big manifestation. So keep going. Your persistence is what's going to carry you through everything. So now we're going to start moving into the unlocking and tapping into our soul purpose and understanding how powerful you are, who your soul wants to be. And then we're going to open up our heart space. So this is where real serious manifestations are going to come from, is when we can unlock our heart chakra in a big way, intentionally using these tools, and then finding the right path. Once we get aligned onto this path, everything just starts flowing. If we can get into this formula, we can, you know, it's like when a child starts walking, they don't just get up and run across the room, right? It doesn't work like that. So we have to get into the perception that we have to understand when we haven't been doing something before, it takes repetition. We have to keep trying. You got up and you fell, you got up and you fell, you got up and you fell. This was part of learning how to walk, but you didn't think about it. You didn't go, that's it, I'm going to lay down and cry and I'm never going to walk again. We didn't do that. Our society has taught us how to do this, and we want to undo this part of ourselves. We want to be that kid that just got up and kind of fumbled around and you fell and you kind of went, okay, whatever. And then you got up and did it again. And the same with driving. You felt awkward at first. You didn't know what was going on. You were anxious. A lot of us were anxious. Maybe we were excited. I'm just speaking from my own perspective. I was terrified. So maybe you guys were anxious, or maybe you guys were excited, but I was anxious. I was sweaty. I didn't know what was going on. I felt like I had to look right in front of the car and everything was so hard. But then it started to get easier as I did the repetitions. So this is why we want to know that we need to have this discipline, this persistence, and we want to keep that image in our mind of that burning desire, and we want to use our imagination to play out and have fun and enjoy ourselves in a lot of ways. And we want to quit trying harder. We want to quit pushing towards that manifestation, because that's not the formula. We just want to know the right areas to put our energy in, and that's to have a burning desire of what your goal is written down in clarity. If you haven't sat down and thought of what that big goal is in your life, and not like, hey, I want, a certain amount of money. That's important. But why do you want that money? And what are you going to create in your life? What is your experience going to be? Have a clear picture. And then we want to have faith that this is going to happen. And then we want to use our subconscious minds. We want to, every day, we want to have persistence in keeping this image, because that's what's going to unlock it. And then we want to get rid of this, forgive me for the swear again, but bullshit of the conventional approach, because we've been taught a certain way. Like school teaches us, read a book once and I'll teach you something once, and then you've got this knowledge, but you don't have knowledge. When somebody asks you, if you read something once and somebody asks you to tell them in detail all about what you just read, a lot of the time you can't. So we want to get into the habit of reading and doing something until we could tell somebody else how to do it. That's when you're starting to get a deep conscious knowledge about it, because it's inside. It's not just up in the upper side. So we want to learn how to make powerful decisions that are going to align with our soul. We're going to learn here in a little bit about what our soul is here to do. We now know that our emotional regulation is deeply tied to whether we had trauma or not, because our brain developed differently. So if we're having problems with that area, instead of being hard on ourselves and comparing ourselves to people that didn't go through trauma, we can have self-love for ourselves, and we can understand that, hey, this is going to be a different approach for those of us that have experienced some serious trauma, because when we were a child and our brain was developing, our amygdala developed different because it was always in fight or flight. So that child that didn't experience that is going to have a different process for this, because it's going to be different. It's going to be a different approach. So we want to start healing that part of ourselves. So that's where I come in, and this is my purpose, is to teach you that yes, your amygdala learned differently. Your brain is wired differently because of trauma. So we want to heal that part so that we can start learning how to regulate ourselves. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not special. I mean, I am. I don't want to say that I'm down talking myself, but I'm just saying we're equal. All of us, we all can do this. We all can unlock this part of ourselves. I now know how to regulate myself. I now know how to take my life out of completely dissociating on a PTSD level and feeling my feels in a way that isn't awkward, isn't traumatic for me anymore. I'm not having a fight or flight response when I'm doing it. It feels natural. It feels good to me. And manifestation got a lot easier once I learned to tune into that part. So there's a lot to this if you've experienced trauma that deserves love. Your self-image, once we start unlocking this part where we know the deep knowledge. I didn't know this part about trauma. I didn't know this part about my mind, about the fight or flight, or my vagus nerve, or how neuroplasticity could change that about your mind. We want to know these things, because once we know, we have more confidence in ourselves, even when we come from a trauma approach, because you have that knowledge inside of yourself. I'm ranting now, forgive me. It's just going, so I'm just going to go with it. So then we're going to finish out this month with a bang. So if you haven't been following this journey, I would start back at the beginning. It's in the guides. It's under inspired messages. Start from the beginning and allow it to guide you along, and do this journey. There are 30 minutes to 40-minute videos here with inspired messages that are telling you how to do this. And, allow yourself to go through it a few times, because you're going to awaken, and you're going to wake up to different parts and different messages in here. They're going to touch you in different ways. And then all of a sudden you're going to go, oh my God, I just had a light bulb. This is what I was missing. This was the tweak that I needed. This was it. So allow yourself to do this journey. If this is something that you want and your soul's saying, hey, I have a bigger purpose here. I got shit to do. Sorry, I'm real sweary pants today. Then this is why Inspired Messages was created. This is why I created my group. This is why I do what I do. I've done it. I've taken myself from, a child that's experienced mass trauma, that allowed circumstances, and I didn't know how to regulate. So I was triggered and things happened around me, and I just was thrown off all the time, and I was in fight or flight, and I was dissociating. So I wasn't even really experiencing life. And I don't have any, bad feelings towards it. It made me who I am. But if I can take myself out of that, and I can go into this journey where, I'm fiercely different than what I was, even 5 to 7 years ago. I was really a toxic human being 7 to 10 years ago. And I can admit that I didn't, and it was only because I was in so much pain, and I didn't heal certain things inside of myself, and I didn't know emotional regulation. Nobody taught me those skills. I didn't know how to take myself when I was up at a 10 and I was in fight or flight. I didn't know how to go, hey, if I just feel something, if I even just rub my fingers together like this, hey, I know that I'm no longer in a rational state. My heart rate's elevated, my brain is foggy, I'm starting to breathe heavy. I realize I'm triggered. I can rub my fingers together, and I can start focusing on my pointer fingers. What does that feel like? Hey, what does my next finger feel like? Hey, what finger is that? Is that the middle finger? And then I can start looking around me and go, what are 5 things that I can see around here? What are 4 things that I could smell or touch? And just bring yourself back from the amygdala to the rational mind. When you can start doing that, you're allowing yourself to get back into your center and change your vibration back to what it was that you were working on, and you stop outside circumstances from changing your projection of your manifestation. So it's so important. And there's absolutely nothing wrong if you've been raised in a family that you don't understand. If you've had trauma, I guarantee you have an attachment injury, and attachment injuries directly impact your connections with others, your relationships, your manifestation. It impacts everything. Attachment healing and attachment connections was something that absolutely saved my life, understanding it. Once I started to learn that I'm an anxious human being, I had an anxious attachment. I'm starting to move into healthy attachment now, but I was anxious, and it all coincides together. So I'm starting to rant again. So I'm going to wrap up this video now, but now I've taken you guys down quite a journey. You guys are starting to see a little bit of what it is that I do. Phoenix Transformations mentorship for the 12 months was basically a big outline of this process. We took ourselves through our core values, our driving needs. We did vision boards with feng shui, energetics. We had Reiki boosts whenever they needed one-on-one sessions anytime they needed it. I actually have a mentorship portal on my website. So you guys can go there when you purchase a coaching program with me, and you can book in these anytime you need it. Energetically, I help you realign. I help you with your mindset. There's also Messenger, but I also take you down attachment, boundaries. I show you how to have healthy boundaries, because you once you have healthy boundaries, you create safety. And once you create safety, you can create from that space. But first, you have to do that if you've been coming from a space of trauma. Show you how to use angels to heal and manifest your life. I teach you how to quantum leap and what else? Oh my goodness. There's 48 lessons with the Phoenix Transformation Mentorship. So it's now called the Quantum Healing Transformation. So it's there, it's available. I'm not doing it with the virtual yet, because I have to re-record all my videos without people in it for confidentiality. But right now it's open and ready for the mentors to continue to go through. It's a lifetime process, so you get to go through it for the rest of your life. You get to go over those lessons anytime you want. With the coaching programs, I've broken up the mentorship into different packages. So there's manifestation, subconscious reprogramming. It just allows you to pick what is going to work best for you when you want to work with me. So I have basically the Phoenix Transformations one-on-one coaching that I will take you through at your pace, what works best for you and what's going to work best for both of us to work like me, divinely guided, going in there, using my intuition, and we'll start decluttering some of the stuff that's getting in the way so that you can get to work on your soul's purpose and the reason that you came here. So lots of stuff available for you. So if you are feeling the call from your soul, allow me to guide you through this process. Allow me to guide you into what it is that you came here to do. And all you have to do is send me a message, a private message, and we will, do a one-on-one, and we'll start talking and finding out what it is that you want to create. Because, this life is short, and we want to be intentional, because otherwise we're just going to keep repeating these lives over and over again. And we want to, wrap this one up and get into our next magical one and do what it is that our soul came to do in that lifetime. So I love you. Jennean Bruner here with Mind, Body, Soul Healings. And this is our self-image, self-confidence, inspired messages. I hope that it spoke to you. I'm here at any time in the Quantum Healings Transformations community of learning. If you guys want to chat with me, ask me any questions, all you have to do is message me or comment in the group, and I'll be there for you. I love each and every one of you guys. And as we move into October, I am going to allow divine guidance to bring me into a new couple week process of inspired messages. We are going to continue inspired messages here in the Quantum Healings Transformation community of learning. It may not be every day, but I will create events so that you guys know when they're happening, what time, and you guys can allow yourself to be guided to which ones that your soul is calling you to. Those of you that want to go through the whole journey, it's going to be in the guides. Definitely check out the guides, because I have created a resource center for everybody that wants to learn about different areas. There is a lot of astrology. There's a lot of, self-guided challenges that you can bring yourself in that's going to help you grow. So thank you for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. for Remember How Powerful Your Soul Can Be. And I love you, Annie.